Hello, Awesome Soul here, and rejoice because finally, Robits have been added to crates. Players now have a much more simple way of gaining Robits now than ever before. This feature, of course, was added in the most recent update, which the vast majority of isn't entirely new. The main reason behind this update was sort of an official push to say that custom games is now officially out. Now, the reasoning I assume behind this was because, if you remember, they were actually planning on rolling out custom games very slowly to everyone, just to make sure there weren't any bugs or major issues in their servers, etc, etc. And luckily for FreeJam, everything went incredibly smoothly, so they rolled out custom games to everyone 100% pretty fast. I think it only took a couple hours. I think. Can't quite remember exactly how long it took, but it was fairly fast. So anyways, the only real new things we have in this update are the Robits in the crates, as well as bug fixes. But I won't really go over those. If you do want to read the patch notes, you know where to find them. Now, when it comes to Robits in crates, they do follow the same rarity system that all of the parts have. So common, uncommon, rare, epic, and legendary. So a common Robit pile will give you 160 Robits, uncommon will give you 800, rare will give you 4,000, epic will give you 20,000, and legendary will give you 100,000. So that's a fair stack of cash there. Now, there is one other thing that most players probably missed. I know that when I pointed this out to a few members in Soul Squad, the Discord server, they were a little bit confused. Everyone was pretty much having the same response. Wait, they added a new mask? And yes, they added the Ninja Mask cosmetic. For those who haven't yet seen it, I'm not going to spoil it because it does look rather cool. So the next time you log into Robocraft, go and check the cosmetic section, and there you will find new mask pieces. The funny story behind this is this mask has actually been in the game for quite some time now. Somebody a while back posted their findings on Reddit of like a data mine type thing, and of course the mask was in there. But ever since that day, we hadn't really heard anything about it. It was actually meant for some sort of collaborative event with some other company, but unfortunately that fell through, so they never really ended up using that. But the day they did the update for the whole custom game slow rollout type thing, you know, like the testing, it was actually unintentionally released on that day. And I'm very glad they did, because this thing looks pretty awesome, and it's always nice to have a new cosmetic to work with. So there you go, there's your fun fact of the day. Hopefully some of you found that somewhat enjoyable. Now, that's enough about cosmetics. Let's go and talk about cosmetics? Yes, actually, Mark on Twitter has been talking a fair bit about cosmetics and what their plans are for those in the future. They are getting a buff, so to speak. Well, not really. Sort of a rework, I guess? I'm not entirely sure how to describe this, but I guess the best way is just to simply go through this together. So, the thing that sort of kicks off this whole cosmetic landslide of tweets, it's not really that many, but still, the one that starts it all is him responding to somebody saying, "We would like to move cosmetics to crate only, alongside upgrading cosmetics to have their own CPU so you don't waste power looking cool." Now, I was a little surprised by this tweet, because what seems like a year and a half ago, maybe even 2 years ago, I can't quite remember, it's been a very long time, but they've actually said this before. They actually had the plan quite a while back to do a whole cosmetic CPU bar. So I'm very glad to know that that idea is definitely not scrapped. Of course, the other part of that tweet is them moving cosmetics to crate only. Now, of course, he does say here, "we would like to." So it's not confirmed, despite what I think might be happening a few tweets later. So, cosmetics in crates. This is something that it does actually make sense to me. It did always seem a little odd, coming from the perspective of a player who's been here since pretty much the beginning, more or less. Back when Galaxy Cash was a thing. That was a currency that you actually had to spend money on. And you could use this currency to buy cosmetics as well as premium time. So this meant the only way you could get cosmetic items was spending actual money. But when Galaxy Cash was removed, now everyone could just buy them for regular cash. it definitely removed a lot of the shine, I guess, that cosmetics had. Not really the shine, I guess more of the wow factor. So I guess in a way it's kind of nice to have cosmetics being actually special parts. Although I'm sure there are a lot of problems with this, especially with the robot factory being a thing. What I don't want to see is going back to what they sort of had with the premium paints. So a little while back, if you didn't have premium, you could not buy bots that had premium colors, which was not really the smartest thing. So hopefully, if they do go through with this idea, then you will actually be able to buy cosmetic parts off of the CRF. Not quite sure. There's a fair amount of problems with this, though I'm sure they're thinking them through, hopefully. I don't know. But then there's also the other part of me that does really enjoy the fact that you can buy cosmetic parts using just your Robits, because you know me, I like to spice up my bots a little bit by adding cosmetics here and there. Although I haven't done it too recently, but I have done it a fair bit in the past. I'm trying to do more of it. But anyways, so for example, when the Ninja Mask was released, I was like, oh my god, hell yeah, I need to get in and get building, just because of this one cosmetic part. And I still quite haven't nailed down a design, but I do think I have something in mind. But anyways, it's things like that. So if a new cosmetic is released, you want to use it right away. But if you can only get it from crates, then it's a bit of a problem. I don't know, what do you guys think about all that? Now, that's not where this whole CPU thing ends. Mark goes ahead and confirms that yes, this is a cosmetic CPU bar. It's not anything else, so just clearing up any possible confusion there. And to clear up some concerns I'm sure a few of you had, Mark does lay any fears to rest as to extreme cosmetic builds, so all your cosmegas should be safe. Somebody posts a picture of their cosmetic blimp asking if they can still have this under that new system, and Mark responds with, yes. Plus megabots in custom games when we get it done, so much larger than that too. So, could this possibly mean mega cosmega megas? I think that was one too many megas there, but you get the idea. That might be a little bit on the insane side, but I'm sure people's creativity will run wild and we'll see a whole bunch of crazy wacky builds. Or crazy cool builds. Or maybe a bit of both. Anyways, that brings our cosmetic thing to a close. However, there is still some more news to cover, and that would be a follow-up to something I've covered a few videos back, and that was a buff to aerofoils and rudders. Mark here says, I'm trying to make aerofoils and rudders too damn good that drone flyers want to be airplanes instead. And he follows that up by responding to another tweet, asking, can't wait to see planes able to find a way around bad flak players. And Mark responds with, and clearly the fastest bot in the game. So yeah, I'm rather pleased by that. The main problem I said in my Robocraft report card video was that aerofoils and rudders were very predictable as far as their movements went. So just bumping up their speed to crazy high levels will probably be enough to make them viable. But one interesting thing to note here is when he says clearly the fastest craft in the game, obviously referring to aerofoils and rudders. So does this mean that they can move under their own power? I don't think so. What it could possibly mean is just a speed cap boost, because there is a certain maximum that wings and rudders are able to hit before they just sort of get cut off as far as speed goes. So this could just be a simple increase to that, as well as what I assume are physics reworks and control reworks as well. But if you are a plane pilot, I would like to know what kind of things you want to see out of this kind of rework. Anyways, that will do it for today's episode. I thank you all so very much for watching. I, of course, have been the Awesome Soul, and I will be seeing you next time. Take care.